Welcome back. The program is still New Dawn on the People's Telly, Monday edition of the program. We are at this point at our discussion segment of the program, and this morning we are looking at some kind of special people. Special not because they have any natural physical challenge, but by virtue of where they find themselves as a result of their errors, omissions, or commissions, either deliberate or otherwise. And I'm talking about the prisoners. Different categories of prisoners we have, and so many other issues surrounding prisons and prisoners. And this morning we have two gentlemen that will be looking at issues as they come up affecting prisoners. The two gentlemen are from the prison rehabilitation and law-abiding. Okay, yeah. We have Mr. Olayemi Akiwumi on the show this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
I know you are not a stranger on this channel.
Exactly.
So it's good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
All right. We also have Mr. Olushola Ogundimu also on the program this morning. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Good morning.
Okay. I am very sure that Ola will also want. Welcome back. The program is still New Dawn on the People's Telly, Monday edition of the program. We are at this point at our discussion segment of the program, and this morning we are looking at some kind of special people. Special not because they have any natural physical challenge, but by virtue of where they find themselves as a result of their errors, omissions, or commissions, either deliberate or otherwise. And I'm talking about the prisoners. Different categories of prisoners we have, and so many other issues surrounding prisons and prisoners. And this morning we have two gentlemen that will be looking at issues as they come up affecting prisoners. The two gentlemen are from the prison rehabilitation and law-abiding. Okay, yeah. We have Mr. Olayemi Akiwumi on the show this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
I know you are not a stranger on this channel.
Exactly.
So it's good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
All right. We also have Mr. Olushola Ogundimu also on the program this morning. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Good morning.
Okay. I am very sure that Ola will also want to welcome you, because if any effort not to allow him, he's looking for trouble.
Ẹ̀yin wa mo kí n káwọ́ padà sórí ètò yín, ètò wa New Dawn ọ̀tọ́jọ́ láti iléeṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣàn ti ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn nílùú Abẹ́òkúta. Alàgbà Akínwùmí àti alàgbà Ògúndìmú, àwọn méjèèjì ni a ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí àlejò wa ní òwúrọ̀ yìí. Ohun tí a sì fẹ́ gbé yẹ̀wò òun ni ọ̀rọ̀ lórí àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n wà ní ìhámọ́. Èmi kì í sábà fẹ́ pè wọ́n ní ẹlẹ́wọ̀n. Àwọn tí wọ́n wà ní ìgbèkùn, bóyá torí pé wọ́n lòdì láti ṣe àwọn òfin kan tó jẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́, tàbí wọ́n ṣe kọjá àyè ara wọn, tàbí àkóbá, tàbí ọ̀pọ̀ ìgbà wọ́n kọjá àyè wọn. Ohun tí a fẹ́ gbé yẹ̀wò lónìí ni kí ni àwọn ohun tí ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ àti ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn awuyewuye tí àwa pàápàá nílò láti ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún àwọn èèyàn báyìí. Lórúkọ yín tẹ̀ ń wò wá nílé, lórúkọ àwọn tá a wà níbí, mo kí n káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò yìí. Ẹ̀yin àlejò wa, ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò.
Well, let's just kickstart this discussion this morning by actually situating the word prisoner. Who is a prisoner? Is it could it only be restricted to those who have been convicted and in the prisons, or in some other ways, even free men could also be prisoner at times? Let's first do some clarification on that. Let me start from you, Mr. Akiwumi.
All right. Before you can call someone a prisoner, they must have gone through a kind of process of justice. As in, the Constitution must have found you guilty of a kind of crime. So after pronouncing you a sentence that is when you can say this person is a prisoner. And from that point, that person is awaiting days to go out, or it might be a life sentenced prisoner or condemned prisoner. But not all those people who are in prison are prisoners. We have awaiting trials and all that. But when we look at our constitution, we realize that before you can call someone a prisoner, he must have gone through a kind of process of going to court and all that. But if you want to look at it from another perspective, if you want to say morally or societally, then you will now realize that almost everybody is a prisoner, because your movements or whatever things, you are restricted in some ways. Some people are restricted because of the circumstances they belong to. All of us, from our mind, we want to be free. We want to do whatever things that comes to our mind. But in some way, we are all prisoners all over the world, because one way or the other, this constitution restricts us in one way or the other. I want to drive, but because I don't have a driver license, or I don't know how to get one, or my age is not allowing me to own one. So one way or the other, we are prisoners. We are all prisoners. It's not peculiar to some people in the prison. But when we are talking about constitution, then there are some sets of people who are prisoners.
Okay, that's interesting. I know that certainly we should possibly get some interesting response, and that's why I said let's know who prisoners are. So there are some legal prisoners, and there are some prisoners who inadvertently are prisoners, even not knowing.
Exactly.
Okay. Now let me come to Shola now. Now, going by what Mr. Layemi has just told us about prisoners, then do you really think, looking at Nigeria's situation, do we have what we can really call prisons? Considering the fact that to a large extent, even somebody who has been sentenced also has some elements of rights. And with some of these things we do see here about the prison situations, will you say we really have what we can call prisons in Nigeria?
Thanks very much, sir. With the situation on ground now, presently in Nigeria, I cannot really say we have prison. Recently, about 2 weeks ago, we went on assessment tour. So we visited all the prisons in Ogun State, and I can tell you that the situation is very bad. It's very terrible. The situation is not something that is good at all, because you can imagine, unlike this Oba prison, where you have about 637 inmates, and out of that 637, 593 are waiting trial, and 44 of them are convicted. So, and we went further in our tour. We got to know that all these prisons, they have no vehicle to convey inmates to court. They don't have a good kitchen condition. They don't have, in fact, the buildings. Some of their buildings need repair.
Okay.
No drugs. In fact, you see, about not too long, we also visited this Ibarra prison. We got to know that in terms of drugs, they don't have drugs. There was a day we went there, a particular woman was bleeding. She needed attention, medical attention, but the people, the officials, they said there's nothing they could do.
Okay, all right. We'll still come back to more issues relating to that, and we will also look at the kind of prisoners we have. But before then, what does the prison supposed to do? What should be an ideal prison?
The prison is not for punishment.
Okay.
Prison is not meant to be a place where we keep people to punish them. Prison is the main objective of prison is some of the people that I've heard in the society. The society now keep them there for reformation.
Okay.
That at a particular time, there is a process that allows this set of people to come back to this society. So we are not going there to punish them. We're supposed to go take them there and rehabilitate them, to teach them morals and let them see how they can retrace their step back to a normal thing that will reintegrate them to the society. But that is the purpose of the prison. But presently, that is not. We cannot find that there, because what is needed in the prison are not there. They said justice delays, justice denied. That is exactly what is going on here. Someone he mentioned the difference in the awaiting trials and the prisoner. That means after 2 years, after 3 years, you have spent so much. People have called you prisoners. People have called you a criminal. At the end of the day, the court will now say, "Please go. You are discharged and acquitted." So what causes that delay? So that is the reason why Pralag is saying that. If now people keep saying overcrowded in prison, and you just want to, at a time, you just go to the prison, release 15 people, you release 30 people. That's not the situation. That is not how to reduce influx of people into the prison. So we need overhauling of all the system of criminal justice system. Without that, then the problem will persist. So that is why we are saying the 4 ways we now identify. That's why we said, go back to the topic, the 4 categories of people in prison. Then how is Pralag going to meet these challenges, these 4 categories of people in the prison? If you open a tap and you want to reduce the contents of the buckets you put in on the tap, then what you need to do is not, you can't be getting it down from the bucket, but what you need to do is you first reduce the inflow of water from the tap. So that's what we are going to do. That's how do we now reduce the influx of people into prison? Let me tell you, over 70 or 80 people in prison are not supposed to be there. If you now reduce and at least get some things done with those 80% of people, definitely prison will not be overcrowded. So presently, we don't have prison because those officials that are supposed to be empowered to handle the issue in prison are not empowered. They don't have resources. The training is not there. Short staff is there. Poor morals is there. If you want to review someone who have a kind of in his account is probably the case that brought him in is a case of a fraud. He's having like 10 million, 14 million in an account, and one small boy he said his prison official is now telling him morals. What's morals? That's the reason why you remain who you are. You are so So it won't give them morals to a kind of a motivation to handle the problem in prisons.
ẹ̀yin wa lè ohun tí a fẹ́ gbéyẹ̀wò lónìí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ṣojú ìlú tí ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ó farasin ni pàápàá jùlọ tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn tí wọ́n wà nígbèkùn mi kì í sábà pè wọ́n lẹ́lẹ́wọ̀n àwọn tó wà nígbèkùn tó gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹ́wọ̀n kọ́ ló yẹ kán wà lẹ́wọ̀n gẹ́gẹ́ bí àlàyé tí wọ́n ti ṣe fún wa ń bí yìí ṣùgbọ́n àwọn kan wà nígbèkùn bóyá torí pé àti ṣe ọ̀tún àtòsìn kò yé wọn dáadáa wọn kó bára wọn fúnra wọn ni. Pẹ̀lú àlàyé tẹ́ ti ṣe yìí àwọn ìpele 4 lẹ ní ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n pín sí. Àwọn mi ká ṣàlàyé àwọn ìpele 4 yìí lákọ̀ọ́kọ́. Lẹ́yìn eléyìí ṣé ìwà táwa pàápàá ń wù níta ń bo ni ká tò wá sí.
Ṣé rí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí láti bí over 2 months láti ń dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n pè ní conflict resolution. Mo wá realize pé so tí àjọ Yorùbá tún ti dá sírò àwọn over 30 cases yìí láàrin the February 16, that means pé ó ṣeé ṣe kí kéèsì náà dé court tó bá dẹ̀ ti dé court ó ti ṣeé ṣe kó dé prison so that is wọ́n á realize pé 4 categories of people tó ń lọ sí prison sìn ìkíní òun ni ignorant
àwọn tí ò mọ
implication ṣé téèyàn bá mọ̀ èèyàn mọ̀ pé ìjà ò dáa èèyàn mọ̀ yìí pé èèyàn ò lè mi ò lè gba nǹkan lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ láì jẹ́ pé kíní but wọn ò mọ nǹkan tó lè tì díẹ̀ yọ ni mo mọ̀ pé mi ò fẹ́ kéèyàn kan embarrass mi náà mo wá dé kíní ẹni yẹn wá bú mi mo wá bílì pé máa bàjá ni but èmi tí mo fẹ́ bàjá mo wá rántí pé tí n bá gba ẹni lẹ́sẹ̀ tó bá ṣubú tó bá kú ńkọ́ nǹkan tó lè tì díẹ̀ yọ nìyẹn so irú yẹn apá mi á jábọ́ màá ní mi ò bẹ̀jà mo mọ ọ̀nà tí máa fi bá ìjà tí ó fi jẹ́ pé máa fi nǹkan the same ìjà tó fẹ́ jà yẹn the same thing ni nǹkan àbáyọrí nǹkan tí mo gbà ìgbésẹ̀ tí mo bá gbé so the first one òun ni àìmọ̀ nǹkan tó lè ti díẹ̀ yọ nínú ìwà tí ìṣe tí gbogbo wa ń ṣe pátá ìkejì òun ni nǹkan tá a pè ní human right abuse eléyìí
fífẹ̀ ẹ̀tọ́
èèyàn dùnyàn àìmọye èèyàn tó wà ní prison lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí wọ́n fi ẹ̀tọ́ wọn dùn wọ́n ni mo ti rí èèyàn kan tó jẹ́ pé ìyá ẹ̀ òun nìkan náà bí obìnrin dẹ̀ ni bàbá ẹ̀ ti kú ìdílé tó ń wà yìí ìdílé olówó ọlọ́rọ̀ ni àwọn tó kù tí wọ́n fẹ́ fi ẹ̀tọ́ ọmọ yìí dùn wọ́n wá organize fún wọn wá nǹkan in fact wọ́n show pé àwọn lágbára àwọn gbọ́n jùlọ àwọn dẹ̀ dàgbà jùlọ at the end of the day nǹkan tó ń fún ó wà ní prison ẹlòmíì ó kàn kó mọ́tò tòkunbọ̀ ló ń kó wá but nítorí one way or the other fún mi lówó mi ò fún mi lówó nǹkan kan gbà tó dẹ̀ máa arrest ẹ̀ kí ni wọ́n fi sí wọ́n ní robbery ò dẹ̀ ń ṣe case tó jẹ́ pé high court ló máa handle robbery àti department of public prosecution ẹni tí ó bá tún wá néèyàn ẹ mọ̀ pé tiẹ̀ náà tún ti wá bá finally so ẹlòmíì wọ́n kọ̀ jáde wọ́n lọ kó rógà ìyẹn tẹ̀ ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ dáadáa ń sìn wọ́n kọ̀ kó wá sí police station eventually ó yá mú iye báyìí wá kó máa lọ ìwọ tó wà á ní tí wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ nǹkan tó lè tì díẹ̀ tó máa fi ẹ́ lẹ̀ so tó máa fi ẹ́ lẹ̀ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ẹnìkan á wá dìde á ní wọ́n tì ẹ́ mọ́lé ní ọ̀nà ẹ̀ní ẹ̀tọ́ so nítorí kírù yẹn má bàa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ọ̀dọ̀ tiwọn wọ́n á ní òkè láàárọ̀ ọjọ́ kejì ẹ kó wọn lọ sí court fún ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tí wọn ò mọ̀ tí wọ́n lẹ́sẹ̀ so
abádẹ́rù ẹ̀
ó ti di dandan nítorí èmi fẹ́ guide ara mi pé ẹni yìí mo ti mọ́lé fún ọjọ́ méjì pé kó lè mú wá kò rówó mú wá tí máa ní mo dálẹ̀ kó máa lọ wàhálà ni fún ọgbà o so ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé lọ sí court now àwa rí prison ní dumping ground àti ẹni tí ó ṣe kéde mo wá realize pé àwọn tí wọn ò mọ ẹ̀tọ́ òun ni ló wá pọ̀ jù. ìkẹrin ni ìkẹta òun ni poverty. ìṣẹ́ tó dẹ̀ tún wá pọ̀ ní ẹni tó lọ sí university tó lọ sí kíní at the end of the day kò sí nǹkan kan tó fẹ́ ṣe ó ti ní mind òun fẹ́ ṣe báyìí so irú yẹn tí ò ní iṣẹ́ gidi láti ṣe tẹ́ bá wá rí opportunity pé eléyìí crime ni o but èmi ti ṣe mo ti là ń bẹ̀ o mo ti fi kọ́lé mi ṣe òun náà wọ pé risk is all about life ẹ jẹ́ kí èmi náà try ẹ̀ so irú wọn á ṣe kíní so ìkẹrin òun ni alternative dispute resolution ìyẹn làwọn ṣe ìyẹn ó tún pẹ̀lú nǹkan gbogbo ẹ̀ náà la kó now yín sìn dispute resolution nísìn kò sí bá a ṣe jókòó yìí tó bá pẹ́ díẹ̀ ẹ̀ sọ wọn kan tí mi ò like máa sọ wọn kan tẹ́ ẹ̀ like nǹkan ibẹ̀ ìjà kékeré bẹ̀rẹ̀ àsọ béèrè kẹrẹ tá a bá rí èèyàn kan tó máa mediate láàrin àwa méjèèjì pé èyí tí wọ́n sọ yìí ìwọ náà wo ẹni tí láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ láyé ẹ̀ nǹkan tó mọ̀ bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe nìyẹn eléyìí náà tó dẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí kò ń ṣe pé ó fi ṣe ká nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ̀ ní. so case kékèké àìmọye from there ó di court mi ò gbà òun nígbà èmi ò nígbà àdéhùn mi bá dé court èèyàn kan ló máa lọ sí prison police náà àtọ́ kọ́ mi èmi náà ibi àwọn tí mo ti lágbára ibi tí mo lágbára sí máa fọ̀rọ̀ lọ̀ wọ́n ibi tẹ́yìn náà lágbára sí máa fọ̀rọ̀ lọ̀ wọ́n eventually àwọn ilé máa sọ pé ṣe báyìí okay máa gba kọ́ ìkíní fún ẹ okay mi níyàn ní police station ó yá pé ọ̀gá báyìí nǹkan kan yá ìwọ kan báyìí ló máa ṣe sí bọ́rọ̀ ṣe máa tóbi nìyẹn so irú àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá dé pé prison ṣé irú kéèsì kékeré ìtún lè dé prison ni ṣé irú ọ̀rọ̀ kékeré ìtún dé prison ni so ẹ wá wo effect tí ìkọ̀ọ̀kan nú ẹ̀ wá create sí prison irú àwọn èèyàn mẹ́rin tó wà ní prison
tó wà ní ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n wà nìyẹn.
so tá bá ti rí ìyẹn láti sọ pé pralago tí issue bá ti ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin à ń settle issue kan lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí sìn ọmọ ó ti wò pọ́ ọmọ kékeré ni òun dàgbà alágbára lòun bàbá ti kú wọ́n fi ogún lẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ òun bí lè pé kò sí ẹni tó bẹ́ẹ̀ láyé ẹ̀ tó lè wá gbá ẹ lọ́wọ́ mi kò dẹ̀ sí ẹni tó lè gbà lóòótọ́ because gbogbo àwọn tó kọ abẹ́rẹ́ owó òun kẹ̀dẹ̀ ní òní kọ̀ọ̀kan so ìgbà tó dẹ̀ dọ́dọ̀ tiwa lágbájá ẹ̀ dẹ̀ wá yọjú sí wa ó di kinní kan ó di eventually wo bó ṣe rí ẹ̀tọ́ ni àwọn ò ní dájọ́ mediation là ń ṣe àwa jẹ́ kí wọ́n wòye náà wò dáa wò báyìí àwọn tó jẹ́ actors in the kinní àwọn náà dúró in the mediation eventually àpè wọ́n sí wọ́n á yanjú ẹ̀ very fast kì í ṣe nǹkan tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀ but when it comes to oya lọ fún litigation most wa ní Nàìjíríà kì í kọ́kọ́ ká kọ́kọ́ wo nǹkan tó ń tá a lè fi ṣe nípa mediation nípa conflict resolution peace and kíní kan gbogbo àwọn kíní yẹn ó ní stages nígbà tí kíní yẹn bá wá tí ò bá ṣe é ṣe mọ́ òun ló yẹ ká ṣẹ̀ wá lọ fún litigation but gbogbo nǹkan case báyìí litigation ni case gbogbo àdé ń dé court ká tó padà wá ṣọ́ọ̀rẹ́ àwa gan fúnra nígbà tó bá ti rí pé case yìí àwọn party méjì yìí wọn fẹ́ ṣe kíní and okay ẹ já lọ fún litigation tá bá dé court àwa tún ní agbára láti tún náwó sáà bá fún wa láyè díẹ̀ a ti gbé ọ̀rọ̀ ìdè level báyìí nǹkan tá a sọ fún ẹ pé kó má jẹ́ kó débì kó má jẹ́ nǹkan tó máa ìwọ máa ń sanwó fún lọ́ọ̀yà ìwọ máa ń sanwó báyìí wàhálà ibi tó yẹ kó wà síbi iṣẹ́ òní lè wà síbi iṣẹ́ so wọ́n ti ń rí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí ìsìn yẹn fún wa láyè díẹ̀ sí ká tún padà lọ́lé ká tún lọ bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ so a tún lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ náà so ìgbà táwọn náà bá ti rí pé wàhálà táwọn kó sí i ó ju nǹkan táwọn sọ lọ wọ́n á padà wá nǹkan díẹ̀ tẹ́yìn ò lè filẹ̀ ẹ̀ filẹ̀ ìwọ̀nba díẹ̀ tẹ́yìn náà ò lè filẹ̀ ẹ̀ filẹ̀ àwọn méjì wá jókòó wọ́n á ṣètò
ẹ̀. alàgbà Ọbádìmú ṣe mo gbà. Ògúndìmú tí a bá wò ó pẹ̀lú àlàyé tẹ́ ṣe nígbà tẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn tó wà ní ọgbà ìfinipamọ́ bíi 106 ó lé
637.
ẹ̀tàdínlógójì lé ní ẹgbẹ̀ta ni àwọn èèyàn yẹn ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá wò àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ ojúlówó àwọn tó yẹ kó wà ńbẹ̀ mélòó ni wọ́n.
àwọn tó yẹ kó wà ńbẹ̀ wọn ju 44 lọ.
mẹ́rìnlélógójì.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni sá.
ni wọ́n ṣẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti fún ní.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
gbogbo àwọn tó kù kàn wá.
awaiting trial so wọ́n kàn wà ńbẹ̀ náà ni.
kí ni ipa tí ẹ̀yin ń kó ìkíní láti lè rí i pé ọ̀rọ̀ awaiting trial yìí á dínkù bá àbá tiẹ̀ lè parẹ́ ìyẹn bẹ́ẹ̀. ìkejì kí ni nǹkan tó ń fa awaiting trial.
lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà nípa tí àwọn tó wà ní tí wọ́n fọ̀ sí category tó wà ní ìpín yẹn a rí pé lára wọn ohun tí ìmí tó nílò nínú wọn láti jáde kúrò ní ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n yẹn kò ju bíi 10,000 naira kò ju bíi 15,000 kò ju bíi 20 so gẹ́gẹ́ bí àjọ títí wa à ń wo ọ̀nà pé òkè ìwọ ṣé wíwà tó wà ń bẹ̀ náà gbogbo nǹkan tó nílò láti jáde kò ju bíi 20,000 naira lọ àbí a fẹ́ jẹ́ kí irú àwọn èèyàn báyẹn kan jáde then another one tún ni pé àwọn míì wà ń bẹ̀ tó yẹ pé wíwà tó wà ń bẹ̀ wọn ò ní owó láti lọ gba agbẹjọ́rò tó máa dúró fún wọn and that is why tó yẹ pé àwa gẹ́gẹ́ bí àjọ títí wa a ní àwọn agbẹjọ́rò ti ìjọba ìtọ́jẹ́ ti ìjọba Legal Aid Council of Nigeria wọ́n ní coordinator ẹni tó jẹ́ coordinator wọn for Ogun State ó jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn board member wa so it's part of us and we also have private lawyers unlike this Oladimeji Meet and Associates they work with us they were among those who came to train us so they also work for so there is what we call pro bono is a package.
ẹ ṣàlàyé lẹ́yìn Yorùbá káwọn tí wọ́n ń gbọ́ wa.
ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin ara lé tá a bá ń sọ nípa pro bono ó wà fún wọn tó jẹ́ pé wọn ò ní owó láti lọ gba agbẹjọ́rò tó máa dúró fún wọn and àwọn èèyàn yìí kẹ̀dẹ̀ rèé tí wọ́n bá lè rí agbẹjọ́rò tó máa dúró fún wọn wọ́n máa jàre ẹjọ́ tó wà wájú wọn ṣùgbọ́n torí pé wọn ò ní ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ọgọ́rùn-ún tó máa gbé fún lọ́ọ̀yà of course nígbà tó ń ṣe pé bóyá àwọn gangan ni wọ́n rán adájọ́ ní iléèwé so ó máa fẹ́ gba owó iṣẹ́ so gẹ́gẹ́ bí àjọ títí wa àwọn tí ó jẹ́ pé wọn ò lè kówó sílẹ̀ fún adájọ́ láti gbẹ́jọ́ wọn rò
fún àwọn agbẹjọ́rò láti gbẹ́jọ́ wọn
rò sáà máa fún wọn ní agbẹjọ́rò tó máa ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn fún wọn lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ so a lè fi jáde.
Káyọ̀dé ṣe ìṣe pé ẹ̀yin fẹ́ mú iṣẹ́ agbẹjọ́rò torí tá a bá wo iléèwé káàkiri iléèwé yunifásitì káàkiri àwọn ẹ̀ka agbẹjọ́rò tó wà ńbẹ̀ àwọn tó ń wà ńbẹ̀ kì í ṣe ìwọ̀nba àwọn èèyàn àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ló ń lọ kọ́ṣẹ́ agbẹjọ́rò nígbà yín bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ eléyìí tí ó ṣe kì í pé ẹ fẹ́ gbéṣẹ́ kúrò lọ́dọ̀ àwọn agbẹjọ́rò káwọn agbẹjọ́rò bá rí ṣe àbí
kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ wo sir gẹ́gẹ́ bí àjọ àwọn agbẹjọ́rò NBA ní Nàìjíríà pro bono yẹn jẹ́ nǹkan kan tí wọ́n fi ìlànà fún wọn pé wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣe kó tó di pé wọ́n lè ní ó bí rate wọn lọ sókè ó wà nínú how many pro bonos lẹ ti ṣe so pro bono ni pé mo ṣe free legal service mo ṣe fún ẹ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ so yẹn là ń sọ yìí pé
ṣé gbogbo wa náà lè ṣe pro bono fún
gbogbo anybody but nsìn mostly nǹkan tí wọ́n á ń sọ nsìn ni pé àwọn vulnerable people in the society àwọn tí ò lówó òun ni wọ́n máa ń sọ pé kí wọ́n ṣe pro bono fún àwọn ẹni lówó lọ́wọ́ èlò ló fẹ́ fi gba òun fúnra rẹ̀ gbogbo nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe pátá lọ́ọ̀yà wà fún tó máa ṣe.
wọ́n á dẹ̀ ṣẹ́jú ẹ̀ dáadáa ń pro bono yẹn.
ó ti sú ọ.
ọdún
gbogbo lọ́ọ̀yà kan ló fẹ́ máa ṣe pro bono because òun náà fẹ́ ó lọ sí NBA ṣe school ó dẹ̀ fẹ́ fi oúnjẹ sílẹ̀ lé so ìyẹn la ṣe sọ pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí àjọ wa a sì ń fẹ́ kí nítorí pé iṣẹ́ wọn ni a sì ń fẹ́ kí more lawyers Nàìjíríà kó join wa wípé nígbà tó bá ti kan ọ̀rọ̀ ìgbẹ́ ẹ̀lọ́ba assist ẹni then ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ fún yín pro bono máa ń gbé that is why it's good to serve ó máa ń dá kéèyàn serve èèyàn tí mo ní pro bono lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ẹni yìí lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ó dẹ̀ débẹ̀ ó ṣe pẹ̀lú gbogbo agbára àti kíní ẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ gba ẹni ẹ̀ lẹ̀ because nígbà tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ yìí àwọn tó kù ò mọ̀ yìí pé ọ̀fẹ́ ló ń ṣe gbọ̀ngbà tó ṣe àwọn tó kù rí mo like lawyer yẹn please òun fẹ́ nígbà tí mo dé tí mo lọ sí London àwọn tí ó lọ ṣe voluntary service nígbà tó máa ku ìgbà tó fẹ́ gba èèyàn ní àwọn big organizations wọ́n á béèrè wọn lọ́wọ́ pé àwọn wo ló ti ṣiṣẹ́ ní organization lálárí ó náwó lóhun ti ṣe ń bẹ̀ wọ́n ò béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ bóyá voluntary ni o bóyá staff ni òun nìkan ló ní opportunity out of a lot of applicants nítorí ẹ̀ ó máa ń dá kéèyàn serve èyàn ò lè ṣe èyàn kò lè waste kí ní ẹ̀ láyé effort ẹ̀ so nígbà tóun bá ti ṣe yẹn ẹni méjì mẹ́ta á rí i pé mo like lọ́ọ̀yà bó ṣe ṣe kí ní òun iṣẹ́ owó gidi máa ń wá ìgbà míì wá àwọn èèyàn multinational organization wọ́n lè contact wa pé please recommend a good lawyer for me inú àwọn tó ti ń offer pro bono yìí náà la máa ṣe fún la máa recommend wọn so ó dá fún àwọn ju àwa lọ láti máa ṣe pro bono cases.
Now, we are still talking about these categories of prisoners, and you mentioned those who go in there out of ignorance, poverty,
human rights
abuse, and conflict. Okay, fine. Now, I actually want us to look at those ones relating to poverty and human rights abuse. And I'm looking at it from the perspective of someone who committed perhaps a crime that ordinarily, even if found guilty, his prison times will probably not have exceeded maybe 2 or 3 years. But for lack of fund, such a person may even be in the prison awaiting trial for even 5 years, and then eventually maybe convicted. He will still take, I don't know whether they will remove that from his awaiting trial. But what is the hope of suspects who does not have financial muscle? Because many a times you hear some celebrated cases of rich people. They don't go into prison. They don't even go in for whether detention or awaiting trial. Are we saying that justice is by the riches?
So that is why I always clamor for advocacy. There's still going to be a room where Pralag will have opportunity to tell the lawmakers that why don't we look into this very critically? Because these people, if you are thinking prison is meant for these downtrodden people, vulnerable people in the society, they were the one that will come and cause problem in the society at the end of the day, for the larger society, that you and I are involved. So for those people, that's the reason why Pralag is so active, that, see, it is better we prevent things instead of curing it. So prevention, or we need to be proactive in whatever things we're doing. That is why we appreciate OGTV. That is why we appreciate our general manager. That if we can have enough publicity, if people can actually understand that we are existing in Ogun State, in Nigeria. So whenever when any of them was a kind of showing that this person is going to be denormalized just on menial cases, then they can contact us. So at the point when they are, a lot of people don't know their rights. Your rights start from where someone comes to you that I want to arrest you. You have the right to ask that person, what did I do? What's my offense? I have the right to contact people from there. Hello, where are you taking me to? And when I get there, I must not